Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm not losing my mind yet.
Not yet.
Not too much.
Tonight is
Stick around
young.
us and you'll see yourself changing.
Well, I've had plenty of my own problems already.
Oh, poor baby.
No,
Yeah.
I'm alright.
Yeah,
She's
You'll
had
be
a
just fine.
bad day.
you'll be just fine.
I am having a bad day. He knows. But
Okay.
you know, if Harry's coming through, we really need to move good things. Just so you're not tripping over everything.
Because I can't see very well. Huh?
Oh, there's that.
Yeah,
I
there's one
forgot
minor,
to take-
and one minor problem.
Well, just make sure you pick up your feet.
Yeah,
Shit,
that's
then I almost... Jesus.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't think you'd know me without my sandals. You hear that?
What?
You said Jesus, and I
Oh.
didn't think you'd know me without my sandals. That's old joke. We're full old jokes. Well, we are old jokes.
I always used to do that with it. Oh God. Yes, my son.
That could happen too.
God. If you think God is an old white guy up in a cloud.
I really doubt that scenario, but you never know. It's hard to say. Oh, sweet mystery of life.
One of the coolest tracks on Dave Alvin's new album, which is an old and unreleased stuff.
Mhm.
He does this version of Highway 61, Bob Dylan's
Oh, yeah.
Highway 61,
Yeah.
but he does it as a spoken word.
Oh, jeez.
And he does the first verse kind of like in God's voice. God said to Abraham, kill me, his son. You know, and it's cool. It is so cool because it takes a Dylan song that I love the words for, you know, and makes it sound like dangerous and scary and you know, I like songs that are like movies where I hear a song and I visualize, you know, I can visualize something. Like I can visualize, you know, late at night on the...
You know what? I forgot. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the f-stop on this, because it had been on auto. Somehow maybe I hit the button. I don't know what you had it on and wanted it on. It seems like it's on 4.
What?
The f-stop on this.
You adjust that by what looks good.
Is that right to me?
Oh, that's
And if he ever breaks your heart. And then he sang the Latin lyrics. Cornamundo.
When he brings... Oh, are we live?
Not yet.
When he brings Danny out, I'm getting all 3 of you, right? Buddy here's going to be...
I'll be here to introduce him.
Uh-huh.
I'll be over here. Tom, are we on yet? Do I have time to tighten my girdle? think I can still breathe. Hello, doll. It's me, the manful handful, and I want to get with you. I want to love you up. I'm going to blow kisses at you. And your neighbors. You know, when me and Moondog go on the golf course, it's legendary. We blow kisses to the other golfers. And they love it. Yeah, right. Believe me, they don't love it. We do it just so we can see the scowls on their faces. Because you know why? That to us is having a good time. Hey, I'm the manful handful. Wop with the bop. The guinea with the skinny. The Guido in the speedo. The Greaser who's a lady. Paliza. And let me say, girls, I come on strong and stay on long. Oh! My only wish is that I was more of a man. My only wish. And some might say, how could someone be more of a man that's already you? And my answer to that question is, I'd like to find out. Hey, we're going to have a great show today. I can just smell it. Tom, can you smell it? Tom,
Coming from that direction.
coming from that. Tom says he can smell it coming from that direction.
Hey, wait.
Harry's here. And let me say this about Harry today. Harry is dressed. He has his finest on today. He's in a black and white waiter motif. He looks like the people that were the wait help at all the Granati brothers' weddings that we played at. Because those guys love to get married. Hey,
I get to tend the bar at Bottoms Up Lounge tonight, so there you go.
So I guess they upgraded the decor at Harry's Hideaway.
We've always had a bar. We don't talk about it.
The bar.
The bar.
You know, in Jersey they say the bar. I'll meet you at the bar. Put something on the bar besides your elbows. You know what that means? Pull out your wallet, put a few dollars on the bar. That way they know you're there. Soon as you get to the bar in Jersey, you take out some cash. Tom, did you know that? In Jersey, you put your money on the bar, and it sits there along with your cigarettes. And that's how a guy in Jersey socializes. Waves his cigarette around. How you doing over there? Nice to see you. How's your old lady? Give her a smack for me. Right on the shit can. Did you see that shit the other day at the Pirate game? There's a kid pitching, young boy, and his parents were in the stands. And and he's a pitcher, and pitchers ain't supposed. When that pitcher bats up, he ain't supposed to get a hit. But this young boy was batting up, and he swung and he hit a single. And when he hit a single, for a pitcher to do that, especially a young pitcher to do it, everybody got excited, so excited that his mother stood up and started applauding. And when she stood up, her husband smacked her on the ass. And when he smacked her on the ass, she gave him the bad eye. She went, and he didn't get up, but she stared at him and gave him the look that my mother gave my father often to keep him humble. I don't know if you know this, but every female human that is born, their mother, the first thing they teach them is about men. The first thing they teach them is says, you get with these guys and you got to keep them humble. So every time they do stupid shit, you got to roll your eyes like this here. And their mothers teach them. So I don't know if you knew that, Tom. It's in the little girl playbook. It's one of the rules of motherhood is, have you first, potty train, all that, diaper train, teach them how to eat and all that stuff. Then the next thing, as soon as they're over that, how to deal with men. And the first rule of dealing with men for a woman is the eye roll. Let them know that they disgust you on a regular basis. Because if you don't do that to a man, he's going to flare up. He's going to go beyond control. That's how men do. And once a woman understands that, now she's in the game. she can't be overrun by a man's testosterone. Speaking of meanies, a buddy of mine, an old agent that used to book me back in the when I was in the diamonds, man, in the 70s. God damn it, I was pretty. We ever talk about how pretty I was? We'll do it another day. But in the 70s, now I'm in my 70s, but I had an agent, and he just recently found me again, and he sent me some pictures of a food chain in Canada. Canada. It's right north of America. You know where it is, Tom? Rochelle, have you ever been to Canada?
Yeah.
It's right north of here, right? Mm-hmm. He sent me pictures of a supermarket chain named Nardini. And it made me think, maybe I should get out my bicycle, scoot right up to Canada, and walk in there and order a couple steaks, maybe a dozen eggs, gallon of milk, pot of coffee, pound of bacon, loaf of bread, loaf of toast. There's a food chain in Canada named Nardini, and there's also, from what I heard, a soap opera in Italy called the Nardinis. Italini. If I went back to the mother country where Ernest came when he was just a precious young boy, I would look up the people who had the Nardini's TV show, and I'd start shooting my mouth off, and I'd start telling them how it is. You know how we do it on the east side of Pittsfield? We slap it on the table. We bang it on the bedroom door. We come busting in. Oh, ain't that a full-grown man? That's what I'd do. No, I wouldn't. Harry says maybe I would. I'm just talking shit. Norman Nardini show number 7. God damn it, I'm excited to do this shit. I have nothing else of meaning in my life. I knew when I was just a precious child, 14 was when it was confirmed that I was going to be a loser musician. I knew from the time of 14, Tom, I knew there was nothing else I ever allowed my mind to think of. I never learned how to cook. I never learned how to fix the toilet. I never learned how to pound a nail and make things and fix things. My old man was a devastating mechanic. I never learned how to change the tire. Well, maybe a couple things I could do. But I knew so early on, and what I've done is eliminate everything else in my life. I've never met anyone that is so single-minded like this here. Here's me. I see nothing else than this. And now, as old as I am, I've never changed. I'm not bragging about it. I'm revealing the shame that I carry with me each and every day from my lack of spreading out and become a complete person. Tom, I've never become a complete person. I'm not a complete man. Do I look like a complete finished product over here?
Could fool me. Yeah.
I could have fooled Tom. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said what I said, because I think now he's starting to think. He's starting to think about my shortcomings. And when I say the word short, well, I'm thinking about me. Hey, let's kick this shit off with the song that we put together just for all you hunchers, munchers, late for lunchers, and my favorites, panties in a bunchers. It ain't a party till you get here. And you know, you don't have to get all dolled up and put on your skinny jeans to come and hang with us. You know what I'm saying? You can put on your sweatpants that you ain't watched since the hogs ate grandma. I got that line from Harry. What the hell? I want to touch you. I want to get with you. I want to light you up. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting a piece of music written specifically for you who are tuning in to the Norman Nardini show right now. You know who you are and you know what you are. They come in all shapes, they come in all sizes. Men, women, somewhere in between. What are they doing? They're watching us. And you know what we're doing? Blowing effing kisses. It ain't a party till you get here. Ho! Joints jumping, pimps and hoes, but there's something missing till you show. It ain't a party till you get here. When you arrive, everybody get turned up. The joint come alive. You make my blues disappear. It ain't a party till you get here. Lights are low, bands playing, dressed to kill, people swing. It ain't a party till you get here. When you arrive, everybody get turned up. The joint come alive. You make my blues disappear. It ain't a party till you get here. It ain't a party till you get here. How you doing? Ah! Spilling out into the parking lot. Inside the joint, it's too damn hot. It ain't a party till you get here. When you arrive, everybody gets turned up. The joint come alive. You make my blues disappear. It ain't a party till you get here. I hope I made myself perfectly clear. It ain't a party till you get here. It ain't a party. Are you with us? Are you sitting in your favorite spot? In your favorite chair? You know, I have a chair in our home. I don't sit in the couch. That's for my old lady, and that's for the dogs and the cats. They have the couch. I have one chair that I sit in, and it's a guitar playing chair. In other words, you know what a guitar playing chair is, Tom?
Doesn't have
One arm.
Tom knows.
Right.
Harry knows. It don't have no arms on it. It's just a flat place for your shit can. You set it down, and that way, you no matter what guitar you're playing, you can operate. And so that's the chair I sit on, and I always cover it with a towel because I make a mess. I'm a mess. I'm no goddamn good. So I have to be monitored, sequestered, and overseen at all times. Like, what do I always say? I wasn't no good when times was good. You know, I've written a song called that, When Times Was Good. 3 or 4 times I've written songs called No Good When Times Was Good. Yes, Tom?
David Hempel is saying, sounded great, Norm.
Hello, David Hempel.
Who else is watching? David Johns. Is that like
David
the
John.
Big Man's brother or something?
David Johns was my first drummer when I became Norman. In fact, David Johns is a little bit responsible for me becoming Norman because I had quit the Diamonds and I was out of work for a month. I was doing shit I shouldn't have been doing to try and, put a little bread on the table. And David came to me. He was a senior in high school, Swissville, right up the hill. And he said to me, hey, my school wants to have a band play at an assembly on the last day of school. And they came to me and asked me, and I wanted to see, and he said they had a budget. And I forget what it was, a few $100s, maybe $300 or $400 or something like that. And I was like, you got my attention.
Back it down, sure.
And so David played drums. My first gig is Norman. Warren King played guitar, and Ray Gunn played bass. And I remember we played in an assembly in high school, and I was out on that stage in the center stage for about 7 or 8 minutes, into it, and I just went, you know what? This is where I belong. I couldn't sing for shit. I couldn't play for shit. I mean, I was writing some good songs at the time. But it didn't matter that I couldn't sing or play good. All that mattered was I had rocks in my shorts. I was a man and I was sticking it on them. I was whooping it on them sons of bitches. And I can't tell you how many people, all these years later, this was June of 1979. And it was my first gig as Norman, and David set it up, and then he did a few more dates with us before things didn't work out. But man, David Johns has the soul of a real drummer, and I love this kid. I wish I could.
Others. Nick Uriah says there's a Via Nardini in Rome, and he has a picture of the street sign. There's a street named Nardini in Rome.
Am I shocked?
No.
Yeah.
You know, they should have
So there's.
they should have let me know when they built that street, because I'd have gone over probably.
I'd
I'd have rode my bicycle over. And Nick Uriah, by the way,
One piece of spaghetti to cut instead of the ribbon. Open it up.
tell him, H.
I'm there.
Nick Uriah, he's a good boy. He's not like me. He's the opposite of me. He's always been a total... He doesn't know how to be anything but a total gentleman. And when I watch him operate, I just think, I wish I could be more like him. But while I'm thinking I wish I could be more like him, I'm shooting my mouth off, showing off, big shot in the whole room, and he's sitting there like a gentleman. I wish I had more of what he has, because then I wouldn't have so much devil inside me. And Nick's brother Jim and his sister Amy Rose. That good family, all good people.
Lots of other people watching.
Oh, people were talking into us.
Lots
You know,
of
we
people
haven't
watching.
done much talking to or about our audiences in all the shows that we've done here at Eastside Sound Studio. But you know what, Tom? I feel these people through the camera. I see their eyes piercing me.
Who's Caveman?
Caveman. I know
Yeah.
who that is. Caveman, that's Tommy Ritter.
Yeah.
And the reason he's Caveman, and I'm Caveman as well, is because in 1969,
Oh, that. Yeah, I know.
in 1969, all the dopers and long hairs, we all hung out in Oakmont. And what we would do, we would meet down on the main street of Oakmont at the library. And then we'd all do a hit of acid. And then we'd walk up this giant effing hill, and then straight back into a park. There'd be about 15 of us. No one would even want to talk to us or look at us. They thought we were trouble. And we were the spirits. We were the ones that made it safe for the free-thinking people that are around today. The people that are around today that think they're hip and with it, you know who they owe? They owe me and the Caveman, because we're the sons of bitches broke the goddamn horse. But we go into the caves. We walked up the hill, through the park, into the woods, over like a creek, and then up the side of this hill. And then on the side of this hill was some caves. And all us dopers would slip into the caves. And then once we got to the caves, we'd spend the whole night there. And we would just talk about shit. And none of us were going to college, really. You know, I was going to be a rock star. 3 or 4 of us were going to be rock stars. Others were going to Vietnam. Others were, trying to find an effing job. Others were talking about somebody they knocked up. How you doing? Shouldn't have done that. I'm blowing a kiss to my caveman friend Tommy Ritter. Good person, all heart, kind of beautiful cat. And I think Tommy was there whenever we had the island party. I think it was the same time when we
That's
all
what I was thinking.
in the middle of the Allegheny River.
Yeah.
All us dopers, we took a goddamn little canoe, and 3 or 4 of us at a time, we went out to this island so that we could party. So there were no cops, and nothing could happen to us because it was like having our own goddamn country, and we partied there. And I remember when I woke up in the morning, I didn't have no clothes on. How you doing? My friend Whitey Cooper always talks about, yeah, where were your pants? They were hanging from some tree. How did you feel? You know, when he talks that shit, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Like, hey.
But these were, the caveman was, we all partied together. And you know what we were doing? We were feeling it, you know, because we were all coming of age. We all had a little bit of hair on our rocks, and we're all starting to become what we, you know, we weren't men yet. We were somewhere between boys and men. And we all had a bad attitude, and we all wanted to get a lot out of life. And that's what the caves was about. The spirits that were changing the way the world was. Because when we were kids, there was no individualism. There was no freedom. You weren't free to think what you want or dress the way you want or identify with what you want. It was a closed-off world. You were slapped down for growing your... If you had sideburns, you were going to hell. Going to hell! I mean, that was really how it was.
Principal's office. For me. Yeah.
Hey, I told you about Larry Seifers. When I met Larry Seifers, he says, what's your name? I says, Norman. He said, what's your last name? I said, Nardini. He said, Nardini. He said, are you related to Larry Nardini? I says, that's my cousin, man. And he says, you know, he says, Larry Nardini and I went to high school. And he says, every day when we all got into homeroom, the first thing you'd hear on the intercom would be, will Larry Nardini please report to the principal's office? And he says, that's what the Nardini name means to me. And I was like, ain't that cool? Larry effing Nardini. He was, when you talk about idols, my cousin Larry talks shit so freely and so well. I've never met anyone who shut up the whole god. When Larry started talking, everybody shut up. And Larry inherited it from his father, who was had the same gift. And Larry Nardini's father, Uncle Larry, was my father's brother. So something tells me that I have a deep, dark secret in my genes. In the Nardini gene. And you know the Nardini gene, we know now that in Canada, it found the food store. We know now that Mr. Uriah told us that in Italy, it has its own street. I've heard tell that there's a soap opera on TV in Italy called The Nardinis. The Nardini name has significance. You know why? Because there's something in the goddamn gene. There's a champion gene that the Nardinis have, and it deals with talking shit. If I don't know if there's... I'll get in the ring with any shit talker in the world. And there's been... You know, a lot of these shit talkers, they go into the God business.
Oh, yeah.
Let me say this. They don't want to get in the ring with this. Because I make my own rules. And you know what I do? I'll drag you down. I'll pull down your pants. Give you a boot right in the shit can. I ain't pissing around. Hey, we got a great show today. We got a guest today. And I don't want to talk too much about him yet, but he's here today and straight out of prison. And
we only work with felons anyway, though.
Well, you know, I always tell people I've never been in prison in Pennsylvania. But we have a straight out of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, penal penitentiary.
That's right.
I just said that because I wanted to say the word penal.
Yeah.
Something about that word. And don't say shit. Something about that word makes me laugh. So we have a special guest, and we've only had out of our 27 shows here. I'm trying to think of the people that have been in the room because, you know, we're doing all this through a pandemic. We call it a pandini. All this time. No vaccinations, you know. Everybody's been playing by the effing rules, man. But the only people that have ever been here is Mike Syke. Remember when Mike Syke came? I was so proud to have him with us. And I could see the smile on his face. And we had told him, you know, when you come in, don't be laughing real loud and bullshit like this and clapping. Shut the F up because I ain't telling nobody you're here because we were playing by the rules. But he was here one time. And then the only other people have been here was my buddy Paul Wargo, his beautiful sister Nancy, and their beautiful niece Ava, who I think since 7th or 8th grade, a beautiful young lady, talented, and they would come in, and none of them, I didn't have to tell them to shut up because they were like that kind of people. They were just very like here, you know what kind of people they were? Like that. There's not a lot of, I don't have any of this in me. I don't have it. But the Wargos were all very sedate and very well behaved. So that's I think that adds up to 4 people that have been here in all the hours that we've been here. And we've had Rochelle working with us the past few weeks. And so that's a very small amount of people have ever been in the room with the miracle that we call the Norman Nardini show. That very few people have touched the heart, the inner gutch of what we do right here. But we have our special guest. Let's do a song. I wanted to do Monongahela because I hadn't done that until I guess about a month ago or so. It's been sitting on the shelf for years and years. And we birthed. Tom, we birthed it. Right here. We gave it life. And I'm glad we did. Oh, and you know what else? I played Harry a new song I wrote this week.
Yes, sir.
It's called Here and Now.
Yeah, babe.
And Harry said that he thinks Here and Now might be better than Monongahela. And I just wrote Here and Now after our last show. So it's, I think, 13 days old. And I don't know if you guys know this, but 13 is my lucky number. I was born on the 13th, and my old lady was born on the 13th. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but the term my old lady used to be 3 words. I've had that changed. It's 1 word now, my old lady. It's now in the dictionary. Did you see it in there yet? Have you looked at it? Tom looked it up. It's in there, my old lady. And you guys can thank, it's the first word I had birthed into a dictionary. Awful proud of that. Monongahela. I'll strap on this guitar. You know who gave me this guitar? Harold Gurley Bottoms. You girls like Harry Bottoms, don't you? Monongahela, let's do it. I'd like to send this out to anyone who ever went to the Allegheny, the Mon, the Yawk, the Ohias. I call it the Ohias.
Very Native American of you.
I know, I think of more Greek, Ohias. But I am a big fan of the Native Americans. I don't know. I think they're hip. I think the fact that they worship the water and they worship the goddamn tree and the grass and they thought God was in the dandelion. That makes sense to me. I'm with that. I just am. And I got no Native American in my blood. My blood come over on a goddamn donkey from Rome, Abruzia, and settled near the Allegheny, the Ohias, and the Mon. My old man would gather us up, and we all walked over the tracks down to that muddy water. We'd go fishing for carp and cat. The big kids would help the little ones. The old man just watched over us all. He would be right there. One of us would fall down by the water. We'd put our feet in, the sons and daughters just working class kids. We didn't know it was a blessing. We would learn our life lessons from hell to hallelujah. Here on the money banks of the Monongahela. We'd all meet down by the river on Friday night after the high school football game. Everybody kicking back, throwing logs on a fire, sipping moonshine, man, those were some days. Playing our guitars under the stars, we was all from the same neighborhood. And if you needed a friend, chances of finding one was good. Down by the water, we put our feet in. The sons and daughters was growing up quick. We didn't know it was a blessing. We was learning life lessons from hell to hallelujah on the money banks of the Monongahela. That's where I caught my first fish, got my first kiss, did some things I regret, like that first cigarette. I still remember the time in December. We didn't think about it twice before we jumped into that water, cold as ice. Well, so many years have come and gone. It's me by, and there's so much I recall. Down by the waters.
Alright, Norman.
Have our Shronic.
Norman.
Have our Shronic. But I was thinking, you chimed in. I know this. Tell room. We're smoking this. Larry Seifers introduced me to the day. As a picture like. I'm between 15 and 10 o'clock, except for a towel. And he's toweling himself off like a bathing beauty. And then he starts flossing in front of all these people. Some of us he knew very well, and others he had didn't know at all. And they're all looking like me like, who's this asshole with naked man walking through your... And I was never more proud of him. I love that kind of shit. I just do. Those stories live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm glad about? I'm glad I'm somebody that has them kind of stories. One after the other, after the other, after the other. You know why? Because I lived. Because I went out. God damn it. I'm going to bring up another man who's lived. Started gigging the same year I did. 1964. You know what we started doing? Getting up on stage, smiling at the girls. Oh, you look good. Yeah. Harry used to have, he was 14, he had a mustache he'd put on so that he could play, because you had to be 18 to work the shitholes we were working.
That's right.
So he had a mustache he'd put on to look older.
We went to a theatrical shop and got real hair mustache and spirit drama. Looked just like Hollywood, man. It passed. Then I had to get up and go to school next day.
That's rock and roll. That's rock and roll. That's living. H, why don't you come on and strap something on?
Sure, man.
Would you do that for me?
I certainly would.
And maybe we'll kick a number.
We're back to life. I don't know what happened.
Oh, we're
Cable outage or something like that.
okay.
Oh, we were off air for a while.
Yeah.
Are we on air now?
Yeah, why I was not able to answer any of your... We're on now.
Hey, guys, if we went away for a minute, don't hate us. We don't know what happened, but we are back, and we want to embrace you and all that you are. And you missed some good shit if we were off the air for a while.
Yeah.
Because we were talking some high-level shit. I just invited Mr. Harry Bottoms to get up on stage with us. And we're going to do a number, and we're going to send it out to Nick. If he's still with us. Because it's a song that, the first time he heard me play it, because I probably first wrote this probably in the middle '90s, and he heard it and seemed to like it, but it didn't stay in the rep too long, and then I rewrote it and reconstituted it in the past year or two. It's a thing called Dance a Little Closer. Wrote it for my mom and my dad. It's kind of their story. It starts off at Kennywood Danceland in the 1940s. Or actually in the 1930s. My mother, she was about 100 pounds of Italian dynamite. So pretty, so light on her feet. Eleanor, Nori D, that's what they called her. And my old man, Arturo. Just the most handsome, debonair, tough. Put your hooves together for Harry Bottoms. I'm going to put mine together, and we can all do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Jeez.
That's a happy hoove. Harry Bottoms welcome.
It quite behooves you.
That move behooved me, Harry says. Dance a little closer. Key of D. 1, 2, 3. I can hear the music play. All the people start to sway. Deep inside, I feel an urge to hold you close to me. All the magic of a dance land night. You in my arms just feel so right. Jitterbugging the night away. And then you hear me gently say, dance a little closer to me. When we move in two-part harmony, all the world starts to glow. So dance a little closer to me. The sound of laughter fills the air. Friends and family gather there. I look around, a crowded room, and you're the only one I see. Now I know the words we said that night. We're gonna stand the test of time. Together when we're old and gray. From when we hear those wedding bells play. Dance a little closer to me. When we move in two-part harmony, all the world starts to glow. So dance a little closer to me. We danced when the rain was falling. Danced when the blues came calling. Closer and closer yet. And we ain't through dancing yet. Now all our children grown and gone. You and I were not alone. And looking back through all these years, you're still the only one I see. No truth is gonna sight on that magic dance land night. Jitterbugging the night away. I still hear the music play. Dance a little closer to me. When we move in two-part harmony, all the world starts to glow. So dance a little closer to me. Dance a little closer to me. With the rhythm memory of the melody. High and low, fast and slow. So dance a little closer. Dance a little closer. Dance a little closer to me. For Art and Nori. I'm a perfect combination of my mother and my father. It's like you cut them down the middle, stuck it together. You know what you got? All this mess of man meat.
Man meat.
I said man meat. Man meat! Oh, if there's anybody in our viewing audience tonight that would like to mention a town and what they call the people of that town. Don't be afraid to send a private dirty note to Tom. Send him a dirty message that says, what do they call people from Columbus? Cowtowners. That's a bad joke. Philadelphians. What do they call people from Washington, D.C.? Columbians. District of Columbians.
Columbia.
I don't know nothing. Another song we've been doing lately that we birthed on the Norman Nardini show in front of all yins is a little number called One Ka Funeral. And it was another one that had been sitting on the shelf for years. I couldn't get it off the shelf. And the Norman Nardini show gave us a reason to birth this number.
Birth.
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 B-I-R-F. To have birth.
Birth.
There's children being born every day.
You're getting birthed?
Burped.
Birthed.
You can burp or birth.
Both.
But it amazes me that every day a child is born and every day somebody's gone. Life moving forward. It overwhelms me, the thought of it all is so huge. And I'm so insignificant. I'm such a pissant. I'm overwhelmed by it all. We like to send a song out to the memory of the great racetrack Mike.
Yeah.
I stood above the crowd. Mike would say as he waved his cigarette around. I was talking the other day about that. Well, drags. I effing loved that when the world was like that, man. I know it's not cool. I know it ain't right, but Frank, you didn't smoke until you had your first, and then you smoked the rest of the night. You woke up, you didn't. Contributing factors. If there's anything, what do you want to die from? Living too much. That's with